girls. Today we are going to learn about life in Mexico, starting on page 86. Did you know that rocks can be used as a calendar? The early peoples of Mexico did. The Maya and the Aztec were two of the first civilizations or developed communities. So stop to underline that a civilization is a developed community. They lived in Mexico. The Maya built a pyramid out of rocks to track the seasons. The Aztec used a calendar stone. Even though these civilizations counted 365 days in a year just like we do, other parts were measured differently. There were 18 months in a year. Each month had approximately 20 days. These calendars were used to help plan for farming and predict the weather. So our question down here says, how do you use calendars? What are some ways that we use calendars on a daily basis? Go ahead and fill that in. Okay, it says here, hi, it's Emilio again. I went to Mexico last summer to visit my grandparents. I learned a lot while I was there. Let's take a look at the people of Mexico. The Mayan and Aztec peoples lived in Mexico long before Europeans arrived. The Maya built houses, temples, and pyramids in southern Mexico. Mayan people still live in southern Mexico today. The Aztec founded many cities and towns. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, was built in the middle of a beautiful lake. This is where Mexico City is located today. These civilizations lived alone until Spanish explorers came to the area that is now Mexico in the 1500s. The Spanish took control of the land and ruled for almost 300 years. While illness and forced labor were a part of this period of Spanish rule, the colonists also brought livestock and new ways of hunting and farming. These were especially important for a new crop, sugarcane. One of the biggest results of Spanish rule was the introduction of the Spanish language to the native peoples of Mexico. Today, most people in Mexico still speak Spanish. In fact, it is the largest Spanish-speaking country in the world. Be sure to underline the ways in which the Spanish influenced Mexico. They brought livestock, new ways of hunting and farming, a new crop called sugarcane, and then also the Spanish language, which is the most used language in the country today. Life around the country. Some people in Mexico still live in small villages. Most people live in cities and large towns. A lot of people live in Mexico City, the country's capital. Be sure to underline the country's capital is Mexico City. More people live in this urban area than in any other Mexican city. Some people in Mexico City are immigrants. This means they move from countries in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Because of so many people living and working in the city, it's really crowded and has a lot of traffic. But it also has a lot of great places to visit, like museums and theaters. There are a lot of businesses and universities too. Take a look at this information over here. Did you know that Mexico City is one of the largest cities in the world? More than 20 million people live there. So let's take a look at our two response questions down here. Number 1 says, how is life in Mexico City similar or the same to life in the Southeast United States? So what are some ways that they are similar and different? Remember, if we look back up here, it says that it's very crowded. And because it's so crowded, there's a lot of traffic. And there's also great places to visit, like museums, theaters. We have businesses and universities. So go ahead and write down some similarities to where we live. Number 2 says, what region of the United States do you think is most like Mexico, and why? People live in other parts of the country too. The people who live in the Valley of Mexico spend a lot of time outdoors because of the mild weather. People who live in the rainforest get their food from plants and by hunting and fishing. They work hard to both enjoy and protect the resources of the rainforest. Fewer people live in Mexico's desert areas because it is hard to work and live there. There isn't enough water to grow crops, so farmers in desert villages and towns use pipes or ditches to bring in water from other areas. Let's stop and underline why fewer people live in Mexico's desert areas. The reason being, it's hard to work and live there because there isn't enough water to grow crops. Now let's read about family. No matter where people live, family is very important in Mexico. Often, many generations live together or near each other. A generation is a group of people born and living around the same time. By living near each other, many generations of a family are able to spend more time together and help each other. They can also share stories and traditions. A tradition is a way of doing something that has been passed along by families for many years. Some traditions include celebrating holidays and cooking special meals. How does family life in Mexico compare to your family life in Florida? So spend a few minutes and draw a picture of a tradition that you share with your family. It could be a holiday that you celebrate and what you do on that special day, or even a special meal that you cook together.